Welcome back to the GameShow Global Esports Cup. What could be the last game between Team Empire and Scary Faces. Team Empire, Game 1 and Game 2, looking really good with this new roster, I must say. Scary Faces, it feels like they're just not prepared to deal with, especially the defensive support play from Team Empire. The counter initiations from Empire have been on point. Not to take anything away from Silent and General Resolution, but really in that last game, I think the stars of the show where Aloha Dance and No Fear, the Earthshaker, the Naga Siren were always in the right place to counter-initiate, especially those fissures, the songs, they were amazing. Across the board, Empire looking really good in game number 2. Scary Faces will be hard-pressed to take this third game and take it out to a fourth in this best of 5. And even then, it wouldn't be over. This is a long road to recovery for Scary Faces, but there is a chance. And we'll have to see if they're able to pull this one through. Queen of Pain will be the first pick for Scary Faces, presumably going to be Meow's selection for the mid lane. And Team Empire going to pick up the Slardar, a hero that Scary Faces have had in both of their games, but not to great amounts of success. The Slardar has really tended to fall behind and not be able to find the initiations that they really needed. We'll have to see if Team Empire are going to use this to success in their game. Now to follow up the Slardar, what's it going to be? Dazzle not bad, Winter Wyvern available, also a reasonable selection. There's so many good heroes in the pool. What's not in the pool? Doom, Tusk, Io, Shadowfiend have been banned away, leaving a lot of good supports. There always is that question too, of where they're going to lane the Slardar, but they're going to go for the Dazzle. This is the same opener we saw Scary Faces go for in game number 2, Team Empire. This sends a message in the best of 5. I'm going to show you how it's done. Let's see if they're going to succeed in doing that. The Slardar Dazzle, even though it wasn't able to win Scary Faces the second game, Team Empire just had way too much control. We did see the power of it at stages where the minus armor stacking up between the Slardar and the Dazzle gave them chances to where they're able to get kills otherwise seemingly impossible when you have a Gyrocopter and Shadowfiend that are just that stacked. For Scary Faces now, how are they going to follow up this Queen of Pain? They're going to go for the Gyro. Trading places a little bit. Silence Gyrocopter in last game was beyond godlike in more ways than one. And Queen of Pain will be a suitable partner in crime for the Gyrocopter. A lot of early damage between the Gyro and the Queen of Pain. Now they just need something to set things up for them. Maybe the Earthshaker as well will be considered, or maybe it's banned by Team Empire. Also, special mention, Darkseer is available in the pool. I don't expect him to stay in this pool much longer. Team Empire will consider if they want the Darkseer themselves, and I don't think they'll settle on that selection. Probably just ban it after they ban out the Lich first. Now, Windranger banned out by Scary Faces. A terrifying combo in tandem with the Slardar. We're still waiting for Team Empire to get that follow-up, or that secondary damage dealer. Slardar doesn't want to be the one that is relied on for the damage, and Templar Assassin is an option for Team Empire here. There was just too many good heroes for Scary Faces to ban out. Windranger, Ember Spirit, Templar Assassin, all things that they don't really want to be playing against, but it feels like TA is at least comfortable enough in the lane against the Queen of Pain, but it looks like Team Empire are going to get a very similar draft to what Scary Faces got in game number 2, should they want to go for that style of play. Team Empire here actually gonna ban out the Bounty Hunter. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Bounty Hunter is a hero that's getting picked up every once in a while after getting hit with the Nerf bat mercilessly in the last patch. We'll see where this hero goes from here. I'm still on the fence, but at the very least it does give Team Empire vision control, which is such a big amount of utility. Usually when we're talking about Dazzle and Slardar's ultimates, it's mostly about the minus armor that you're going to be discussing. But also the vision that both of those tools offer is pretty awesome. Dazzle's ultimate has such a large cast range and gives you vision over the target or over the area that you place down, and especially inside Roche Pit fights is really useful. And now Disruptor, the selection for Team Empire. The amount of vision that's offered by the Slardar and the Dazzle is now going to have some sort of follow-up or natural follow-up with the Disruptor as a glimpse. If Team Empire are on the aggressive, this Disruptor pick is awesome. If they're on the defensive, though, it's going to end up being a little bit mediocre. Glimpse against Clockwork can be situationally good as a defensive tool. But Team Empire are lacking a little bit of damage from their two supports. That said, now they have an Invoker on their side. I love seeing Invoker. This should be General's Invoker going towards the mid lane, and Resolution will be taking the Slaughter and the off. Exhort Invoker is a lot of fun to watch, and we'll have to see how it's going to be played. Maybe they decide to go for Wex, but I really do like Exhort when you're going for these more minus armor strategies. When you have a reliable initiator like the Slaughter to open things up, Crush into Sunstrike or just into the Deafening Blast Meteor combination is terrifying if Team Empire can pull that off, and they can. That said, Scary Face's cores are not looking too shabby either. Clockwork now going to join the ranks of the Gyrocopter Queen of Pain. These are some of the most reliable heroes in the meta right now, and that's what Scary Faces are going to default towards since they are down a couple games in this series. Team Empire offered a little bit more room to be flashy, a little bit more room to pick up like your Invoker and go for a strategy revolving around that. Nah, that said, Invoker is pretty popular right now, especially for a team like Empire that have multiple players that are competent on the hero. Oh, for Scary Faces. They'll want some sort of damage follow-up to the Clockwork's initiation, at least ideally. But they also need some sort of defensive support so they just don't get completely overrun. I'm still okay with like an Earthshaker here for Scary Faces, just a generally good selection for them. He'll sit back, wait for Slaughter to jump, and then can start turning start to turn things around. There we go. That's how words work, I think. It's not the end-all be-all, though. Scary Faces right now, with such a stable draft, need to make sure that they have some way to get Team Empire out of their comfort zone. And right now, I'm not really seeing that. It's going to be a Rubik for Scary Faces. You know, Rubik's a tad on the squishy side, is still a reasonable defensive support with that Telekinesis. An instant disable after Slaughter initiates is very good, and there are a couple good spells to steal this game. But I'm still not sold on the Rubik pick. It feels like it's good for Scary Faces, but I don't think it's great either. It tends to be Rubik's situation. It's a lot down to individual play. If Rubik can pull it off, getting your hands on Invoker spells is always a lot of fun. If you can execute those properly, you can get a lot of damage, especially if this is an Exhort Invoker. Ancient Apparition will be the ban from Team Empire. Probably still lacking their safe lane farmer. Team Empire. Are they going to go for a Huskar here? With an Ancient Apparition ban, that wouldn't be out of the question. Alchemist, Necrophos, and Huskar are all available. If they want to go for any of those, I think they could work in different capacities for their team. How would Scary Faces manage the Huskar? They have the Sonic Wave from the Queen of Pain. But that's about it. Gyrocopter's damage mostly in the early game is magical, and although he is going to have a lot of small instances to make armlet toggling difficult, it could be an option. It really could be for Team Empire. Maybe they'll play things a little bit safer, though. We'll wait and find out, as they're still going to be sitting on a good amount of their reserve time left to mull over the options for this last pick. But already, their first four heroes are really strong, in a vacuum at least. The Slaughter is going to have difficulty in the laning stage, though, I'd expect. Against a Rubik Gyrocopter plus anything, or even just the Rubik Gyrocopter, Slaughter isn't going to be getting that large amount of farm. Maybe Team Empire consider going for a different offlaner to throw the way of Resolution. And give that Slaughter the extra safe lane space to make sure that his Blink Dagger initiation comes online as quickly as they possibly can. This game, the Queen of Pain and the Invoker aren't incredibly good at taking stacks. The only real power farmer here that's going to be accelerating through those stacks is the Gyrocopter, and we saw that it can be very effective. Oh, Phantom Assassin from Team Empire. Alright. This is not the Huskar I was talking about. But it is going to be one of those risky picks that could very well work out for Team Empire, and then Scary Faces pick up the Undying. Phantom Assassin's in a really interesting place in Dota right now. She feels kind of bad, if I'm going to be blunt. The Queen of Pain and Gyrocopter have a lot of damage to bring down the Phantom Assassin until she gets her BKB, but amped up by the Slaughter's ultimate and by Alacrity from General's Invoker. She's going to be doing a scary amount when she gets crits. And if she does, this could be an amazing selection for Team Empire. I'm interested to see how this pick pans out for their side, and it is going to be Silent playing that in the safe lane, supported by Aloha Dance on the Disruptor, and Art Style, or No Fear, excuse me, Art Style's on the enemy side. Something about art style and Dazzle kind of sticks. No fear, he's going to be playing on the Dazzle for Empire. General on the Invoker, the former mid player for Scary Faces, is going to be taking it into that lane. Resolution will be handling the Slaughter in the off lane. General's opponent in the mid lane is his immediate replacement, the stand-in Meow on the Queen of Pain. RMN will be farming on the Gyrocopter. Clockwork handled by Axmo. The supporting duo, Rubik by Shadowy, and this should be art style on the Undying. Yep. The Clockwork is probably going to be left mostly alone in the top lane. For now, he's grouped up with the Queen of Pain and Gyrocopter, but I think Axmo will make his way up towards top. Our Scareface is going to do something different with these lanes, I wonder. It'd be interesting to see. The early ward's going to be planted by Resolution. This one doesn't block the camp, but it does give you good vision of when they're going for the pulls, and in general is a solid ward, as they might get a big wraparound onto this Clockwork if they're not careful. Invoker's actually gone for Wex level 1. This doesn't 100% confirm what type of build General is going to be going for, but maybe he decides to go for Quas Wex. The thing about the Wex point early is, right now we're seeing Invokers tend to go 1 in Wex, 1 in Exhort, and 1 into Invoke to get Alacrity up as quickly as possible. It's such a good lane controlling tool. The benefits of Wex Invoker this game are definitely there. He rotates a lot earlier on and gives you some other tool to set up these fights, but I still favor the Exhort for Empire just as a smashier pick, and I think that's usually how General plays his Invokers. That said, only time will tell. Top lane, an aggressive tri-lane coming out from Scary Faces. The Clockwork is going to be, or not an aggressive tri-lane actually, and Undying's down towards bottom, a 2-1-2 setup from Scary Faces. Undying would probably do very well in this lane, but the downside is it would cost them a lot of their experience. Dazzle's down towards the bottom lane, and both lanes are going to be in a situation where they're against an even number of enemy heroes, at the very least. Templar Assassin's farm is going to be slowed down quite a lot in this top lane. Killing her off could prove to be difficult. She has the dagger now, but when she has that blink strike, catching her inside the telekinesis, wow, that Slaughter didn't get bounced back for a long time by those cogs, but now the Undying's going to be forced to trade hits with Resolution here. As another Decay out, once these Decay stacks start wearing off, that is going to drop art style low, but he should be just fine, and No Fear is currently a little bit afraid, and you have to be afraid of the zombie at this early stage of the game. Now those Decay stacks are wearing off, down to 130 HP. Art style does now have to retreat. But back to the mid lane. Oh, EMP is going to be dropped down onto the ground. Gonna drain a little bit of the mana from the Queen of Pain. In general, though, Meow is out CSing General. 5-7 compared to 2 and 0. One of the weaknesses of this Quaswex build that it looks like he is going to settle down on. The laning stage is just not nearly as potent as it once was. Landing your EMP Tornado combos, especially on a mobile hero like Queen of Pain, isn't super reliable, and Queen of Pain's going to be using a lot of her mana just throwing out Stifling Daggers whenever she has the chance for it. It'll mitigate the actual damage that EMP Tornado is able to do. If you don't have mana, you can't get your mana burned. Meow probably won't be able to kill off this Invoker, at least not without help. And still is going to be doing quite well in the lane. Invoker doesn't have that fallback mechanism of stacks like the Templar Assassin or the Shadow Fiend we saw previously today. He's going to need to get back into this game by finding rotations, about the 10-minute mark or so. Maybe 10-15? Maybe earlier. I don't know. Depends if he gets a good rune or not. Scary Faces are doing well across the board in most of these lanes, and now towards bottom, maybe they're able to find some kills. Clockwork isolates No Fear. He's level 2, does not have Shallow Grave, and will be brought down by Axmo. A nice early start for Scary Faces. Top lane, out CSing the Phantom Assassin slightly. For the most part, just traded farm between RMN and Silent. Not going to be too bad for either side, but Queen of Pain does have this mid lane on lockdown mostly. The Invoker is starting to pick up a little bit more momentum with his CS, but the real advantage here for the Queen of Pain is the denies. 12 denies at 3 minutes into the game. Invoker is a hero that does rely on his experience, but somehow General's actually not that far XP-wise to the Queen of Pain. It's pretty impressive in general. Up towards top lane, they're going to isolate Shadowy. Bring down. I really need to stop saying in general when General's in the game for Empire. That'll be Empire getting on the board, now aggressing upon RMN. He has a Rocket Barrage, so the Phantom Assassin can't fully commit. The Kinetic Field is going to wall off the Undying, and now they want to chase forward for a little bit more. Here comes Art Style. The Undying does have a Tombstone and is ready to drop it, but the supports are defensively postured enough to where they should be fine. Phantom Assassin down to 220 some odd HP. The Undying is being isolated. Drops his tomb onto the deck. The right clicks from the supports cannot kill it off. The Rocket Barrage, no fear, will fall for the second time this game. Another kill involvement with the Undying. Dagger, whew, has 1 charges. Armin's fine. He's fine. And everything will settle down. Calculated, I'm sure. If the Gyrocopter dies though, it's pretty bad for Scary Faces, but since he lives, this is looking alright for them. The Queen of Pain is still out farming the Invoker. I'm really impressed that General is able to get 13 and 4 after being denied so heavily in the early game. He's constantly pressuring with the Cold Snap and finding good angles to where he's actually doing reasonably well. Queen of Pain does tick level 6 a little bit faster than Invoker, but actually killing off this Invoker seems to be impossible alone. Now with the Undying here, maybe they can pull it off. They have Dust on art style. They want to go. They really do. Can you kill off General? He has the Invoke ready. He has Cold Snap EMP. He's probably going to have to go for the Tornado as Meow is going to bait here. Turning around, the Tombstone's on the deck. General is going to have to turn with the EMP. He's going to take the Sonic Wave and Ghost Walk. Even if it was there, wasn't in time and they had the Dust applied. Clean kill coming out from Scary Faces. Further securing Meow's advantage in this mid lane. The early lead for Scary Faces is going to help, especially the Clockwork. By no means is this a crushing early game, though. Empire is still getting a good amount of farm here and there. Phantom Assassin with that 1 kill. 1 kill of the team. Is still getting a good amount of farm. And there's no natural Silver Edge carries on Scary Faces. One of the big reasons why Phantom Assassin is pretty bad right now is because of that Silver Edge item. She needs both of her passes, bottom lane, Resolution, taking a lot of damage. Not going to die. 3 points of the battery assault, though, does do quite a number on him. Once Clockwork has his 6, that's another time for Axmo to maybe look for this kill. Sprinting away, Resolution is going to be able to buy himself the space. If Clockwork had his level 6 there, that's a dead fish, man. Resolution really wants this rune. Jumps in, melee range. There's a battery assault in 1 second. Resolution, I think his greed's going to get the better of him. He does get the bounty rune. Battery assault, not quite in range. Clockwork throws the flare. It's not going to be the death of a starter. In fact, the Queen of Pain is the one to die in the top rune spot. I really wish I was watching top now. The Invoker going to be able to get that kill. Making up for the fact that his laning stage really wasn't all that stellar against the Queen of Pain. It's now on even footing when it comes to the CS that he's getting in this lane. Diving the Phantom Assassin. She's very low already. Has a Blink Strike out, but I don't think there's a great target for it. Tries to get as much distance as she can. Rocket Barrage, not enough damage. Silent has the Dazzle behind. And will live. The Rubik not so lucky. Slaughter TP's in the tower, is able to cut him off, and now Art Style and RMN need to split. They have the amp damage. The Crush will connect. RMN also will fall, and Silent's still not dead yet. And Undying just can't get that kill. They'll Stifling Dagger him up. Here comes Queen of Pain. Meows around the corner with a Blink Scream. Can she mop up some of these kills that are already so low? Has to blink out defensively, and Undying will die. Double kill for Silent. I didn't think she'd live there. I really didn't. Finding the furthest target to Blink Strike away to, and then having the defensive backup from the Dazzle and the Disruptor is going to tilt that in the scales of Empire quite handily. It's not over yet. Scary Faces is going to bring their Clockwork here. Aximo wants to kill off somebody. He doesn't care who he kills. Resolution. Woo, trying to thread the needle between the creep waves. Not quite going to get in range yet. The Crush is going to attempt very early by Resolution. He had to. If he gets caught up by that battery assault, probably dies. Nice attempt by Axmo. That was by no means a bad hook. But it doesn't connect, so it's not going to end up mattering too much. Phantom Assassin TPing down towards bottom. Undying just wants a little free space in this lane. And Silent wants nothing to do with this top lane. If they get this kill, that's amazing for them. Oh, Gyrocopter. Should have practiced more. Maybe that's true. Undying is going to be spotted out. They have the dagger, and they're going to dive him. They know that he's pretty much alone. Everybody else is on the other side of the map, and they're just not TPing fast enough. They're going to give up Art Style's life. Or are they? Right-click damage. Disruptor gets another one in. They have to kill off this Tombstone. They will be successful in doing so. Sonic Wave screams. Silent stuck around too long. They'll glimpse him back, but it's already too late. Aloha Dance, can you live? 27 HP. The Clockwork has a flare. 1 second. He's going to go for it. Healed up by the Dazzle. I don't think this is lethal, even if it connects, and it's a little bit off the mark. Dazzle will live. Phantom Assassin not so much, though. Scary Faces will be happy. EMP Tornado combo in mid lane. Going to drain Queen of Pain completely out. And General's really doing quite well. Is he going to get this kill? Cold Step, no. Not with the wand charges. Not with the wand charges. Clockwork going to be able to snipe the Disruptor after all is said and done. Didn't even have to use the hookshot for them. Just catching the Disruptor in an awkward corner. Doesn't have quite enough mana for his full combo yet, and did have to use the Battery Assault for it, so won't be able to kill off the Slaughter and Dazzle unaccompanied. Or at least, accompanied by nobody more than Shadowy. Rubik at this point is not the most impressive amount of damage. Has Rubik gone for a point in stats? He actually has. Interesting. Smoke in mid. They want to kill off this Invoker again. General's going to be dusted up. Turns with the EMP Tornado. Tornado's up the Undying. Now with a little bit of help from the Disruptor. Killing off Mao might actually happen. He's living. General is going to die to one more auto attack. They get the return kill though. And now the Undying needs to run. Here's the hookshot absorbed by the zombies. Still those zombies are messing up the Disruptor. Double kill for Aloha Dance. Shallow Grave is going to delay the inevitable. Phantom Assassin wants a piece of this action. The Undying's Tombstone has since expired, and Clockwork's Battery Assault is going to wear off soon. Body blocks from the Dazzle. Can't get that kill alone. Here comes Gyrocopter. Call down onto pretty much everybody with the Rocket Barrage, but Silence going to fight to the death with the amp damage. Can he get enough crits? Is he going to get a single crit? No. Double kill for RMN. 4 for 3. A bloodbath in the middle lane. Slightly favoring the Gyrocopter most of all. Amp damage will be stolen. Shadowy is going to die, making it a 4 for 4. Oh. Killing spree for Resolution. Yeah, just take a look at that. That doesn't include that Rubik death. It ends up being so even. The initial fight is pretty good for Scary Faces, and they're still really happy on this Gyrocopter. Now up to 1,200 gold. Top of the net worth chart. But Empire, not to be outdone, you're getting close to this Blink Dagger on Resolution, which really is a big tool for Empire to start turning around these fights. I don't think that engagement mid, although I still think it's slightly better for Scary Faces, changes the state of the game much. TPing towards mid. They have another hookshot cooling down 1 second. Do they really want to go for round number 2? This time around, they have a lot of backup, and the Gyrocopter's even there. Thinking about hookshotting in. Lines up nicely. They're going to suck General into those cogs. He does have the Ghost Walk. They have the dust on the Clockwork, though. General is probably going to go down. The Shallow Grave not coming out in time from No Fear. Probably not even worth spending it on him, but they're going to get a glimpse back onto this Clockwork right into the Crush. They'll lift up the Slaughter with a couple more right clicks, though. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. Still worth it for Scary Faces. Slaughter, as long as he doesn't get anything more, should be fine. Invoker, after a couple of deaths, has slipped compared to the Queen of Pain when it comes to experience and gold, but is still in a situation where his combo is able to do so much work inside these fights. Phantom Assassin going to bump into the Gyrocopter. RMN will steal that Dark Troll. Pretty rude there, RMN, but he can get away with it because he's Gyrocopter. Undying is going to take the EMP Tornado combo down in bottom lane as there's a potential fight of brewing in mid. Right-click damage onto Art Style is not immediately enough. Can't really TP out of here alive, though. Now, if he knew there wasn't Invoke, maybe he can. But he doesn't have the mana. And here comes Clockwork. The cogs are not going to suck back the Invoker. He's going to evade the call down, at least the first missile. Second missile is going to land, but glimpsing back the Gyrocopter, and now they're going to turn around onto the clock. He's cold snapped inside the Static Storm. Is that enough damage? General's trying to get this kill. He's getting chased by zombies, though. Has the Tornado going to throw that out. The Rocket Barrage, even though the Gyrocopter's in the air, is going to do quite a lot to General. Running away on literally 1 HP through the Shallow Grave, is going to die. Jamming it home with a hookshot. Gyrocopter gets the kill. Another death for this Invoker. General's losing a lot of momentum. And the Gyrocopter's picking up a lot. But here's your Blink Dagger for Empire. They can still turn around these fights, even though the last couple have been looking pretty good for Scary Faces. Scary Faces have a lineup that even if you're behind, still can just get kills with the nature of their burst damage. And with how well it scales, even with not having that much compared to the enemy team. But they have a slight advantage now, I want to say. This game is so even, though. Net worth graph hasn't swung higher than 1,000 towards either team. This is what we call a dead even graph, even though it doesn't look quite like it. If you take a look at the maximums on either swing, it's really not that significant. EMP Tornado combo in mid lane. Blink Crush, that's going to be dead Undying. That's the way to show off the Blink Dagger from Resolution. Nice initiation there. And now he wants more. Resolution's diving behind the tower. Shadowy's going to be glimpsed back. He's going to throw out the Crush, doesn't connect. Here's the Clockwork, though. Axmo in the middle of the fray. The Clockwork is not going to be able to hold down this Slaughter as he blinks out towards the left-hand side. By some miracle. Slaughter still should be able to live here. The hookshot is off of cooldown. Clockwork, are you going to try for this? I don't think so. In mid lane, they're going to blink forward. The Queen of Pain drops the Scream onto No Fear in general. Again, a situation where they don't find the angle yet. The Clockwork is very close to Phantom Assassin. It's going to throw a flare mid and wants to find that jump onto General. General knows exactly where the clockwork's coming from, though, and is going to back off towards the right-hand side of this area. He's going to pop. The hook shot goes onto the Dazzle on the backlines. No Fear is going to grave himself. The call downs onto the deck, doing a lot of damage to the Disruptor. The Crush stolen from the Rubik will do a lot in return. A 2-for-1 exchanges these supports, so the first ones to fall. Resolution getting chased down. The negative earn charge is not going to be lethal. A Clockwork Flare, 2 points, and it might be, though, if he's able to line that up. Clockwork doesn't have a Flare for 8 seconds, and I think Slaughter is safe, but the Invoker not so much, as he's going to be collapsed upon. Scary Faces are the ones that are controlling these fights. Something that was lacking in the first 2 games. And Empire just aren't getting nearly enough. This Slaughter pick, maybe teams are prioritizing it too heavily. 14-14, still could be anybody's game. Really could. One good engagement where Silent's able to get a couple of lucky crits, and you get a huge fight in your favor. TPing towards mid, the Rubik's going to join the fray. Scary Faces are sacrificing a little bit of their farming time in order to make these aggressive rotations. It's working because of the targets that they're killing in trade for their supports. It's sad to lose your Rubik Unit dying every once in a while, but it's a lot more important to kill off the Lexidus Invoker time and time again, who has died 5 times this game. They've just been hunting him so much. And General now is disconnected, so we're going to have to pause for him. The smoke in from Scary Faces in this mid lane. They spot out the Disruptor as well as the Slider. Clockwork might just go onto the Disruptor. It'll probably get glimpsed back, and they can expect that the Dazzle's around the corner. And No Fear is. Well, maybe they'll hold this hookshot initiation a while longer. Slider is strongest when he's able to get the jump, not when he's the one getting jumped. And we'll have to see if Silent's able to get, or Resolution's able to get out if you're alive. Silent, on the Venom Assassin, has been getting a good amount of farming space, despite not being involved in as many kills as the Gyrocopter 3, 1, and 4 compared to 3, 2, and 2. Silent's still out CSing the Gyro since he's been rotating a lot. They're very close to even when it comes to their item progression apiece. And as soon as they start activating this Phantom Assassin, that's where Empire can really start getting a significant lead, especially if they take down Roche. And their team is very good at bringing down Roshan and fighting inside such close quarters, mostly due to the fact that they have the Slider on their side. Dazzle, going to be flying out some wards. Unfortunately for No Fear, is very poor. So is the Rubik, though. The only difference between them is that bracer on the Rubik. Although it'll save your life for a little while longer, and Rubik's by no means the squishiest thing you've ever seen, since he has gone so heavily into stats, especially. He's also not the tankiest. Less than 1,000 HP still. How many points has this Rubik gone into stats, actually? 3 points for the bracer. 4 points from the wand. Looks like he's gone 3. Maybe 2. Math is hard. And I'm stupid. That's whatever. Still, the extra stats on the Rubik are going to help. In fact, he's not too far behind Slider when it comes to effective HP to magic nukes. Slider does have the armor advantage, though, with those Tranquil Boots. I just want to see how this next fight goes. Can we get General back in here? I know that's not something we can really ask for. Sometimes there's issues, especially with these online tournaments. There's just not much you can do. No, you're writing the dirty D word on the map. I don't like it. Don't even think about it. Well, thanks for tuning in to the GameShow Global Esports Cup, as we're stuck here at a pause screen. Empire currently 2-0 up in the series. Game number 3 looking incredibly even as Scary Faces are going to try to fight their way back into this, and let's see how this initiation goes down mid. Clockwork's had a lot of time to think whether or not he wants to go on either of these first 2 targets. I think he just waits for the rest of his team. We'll see. He has no hookshot for 7 seconds. With all that time to think about it, I didn't look at Clockwork's hookshot cooldown. My goodness. Now he does have the hook. He's got to throw the flare. Throw the hook. Misses onto Resolution, but still with the telekinesis there. Resolution in a lot of trouble. That amp is going to drop him low. He does have the shallow grave. Walled off inside the cogs. Maybe he's able to get out of here. The urn charge is going to be lethal. Or RMN is. Whichever comes first. Nice kill on this Slider. It's been a brewing for a while now. I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody. The Phantom Assassin and the Invoker are getting some farming space because of it. Get the Orchid on the Invoker. Get Phantom Assassin her first couple of pickups. Right now, probably Helm. Maybe not. Maybe she's going to go straight for the Battle Fury, something along those lines. But right now, you just need to be careful. And Silent is going to make himself a little nest inside the trees. I love it when players do this. This is not the most secure nest. You see this? Clockwork's Flare is going to be thrown. And Silent is not going to be caught out yet. Radiant team don't know. Phantom Assassin doesn't know where they are either, except for the Clockwork. But she should have a pretty good idea that there are people around the corner. Phantom Assassin going to walk by that Observer Ward. And has been spotted, but won't get jumped. Who might get jumped, however, is the Queen of Pain. Blinking away from this gank train from Empire. The Slaughter and company are really looking for this initiation. Queen of Pain is not going to stop by at any of those camps to farm up. She wants to make sure that she's safe. Meow knows something's happening now. Dire. They have a ward. Disruptor's probably going to place this behind the tower, and he will do just that. Spotting out the Undying, spotting out the Queen of Pain, Blink and Crush. They're going to catch out Art Style. Undying in a lot of trouble here. He's going to drop his Tombstone, Tornado Throne, and EMP both. But not going to be lethal on the Undying as he heals himself up. This is time where Empire could get turned around upon. Chasing forward, the Queen of Pain is going to be looking for this, and so is the Clockwork. He gets a hook shot in onto No Fear. The Dazzle is not going to be able to do much except for Grave and Pray. And no matter how hard your prayers are, I don't think you really have much of a chance here. Gyrocopter is going to be bringing him down for a mega kill spree. The initiation from the Slaughter again in the backline. Shadow's going to get a decent stack from Kinetic Field. In fact, walls off the Clockwork and the Queen of Pain. Or not the Queen of Pain, excuse me. She's still outside of it. And the Gyrocopter. Queen of Pain going to get jumped on by Silent. A 1-for-2 exchange. Another attempt at a crush. Not going to connect, but with a crit on the dagger, they'll explode the Clockwork. Or at least the Goblin inside the Clockwork armor suit. RMN dropping low. And Empire again are going to find themselves another kill. The positioning from Empire is really what saves them that fight. It's not over yet. They catch Queen of Pain. The Cold Snap. She can't blink. Triple kill for General. As I was saying, the positioning from Empire in that last fight was immaculate. Scary Faces were trying to find those initiations on so many different fronts, and they just couldn't stick on any target. The Dazzle, although he goes down, takes so much time for them to be able to commit and kill him off. No Fear was the sacrificial hero for Empire there. The consistent fighting potential from Empire is huge when Slaughter is able to go from hero to hero, crush to crush to crush, to kill to kill to kill. And Empire now, they're going to look to push down this mid-tier 1 tower. Orchid done for the Invoker, but here's a hook shot in onto the Disruptor. They have the Tornado EMP silencing up. This Clockwork now has no mana. That EMP doesn't do a lot of damage since his mana pool wasn't all that great to begin with, and now it's going to be glimpsed. The Disruptor is low. Aloha Dancer, you're going to be able to get out of here as we have another pause. This time it's Scary Faces, so I suppose that's not too much to ask. We did wait for Empire, of course. Phantom Assassin looks like she's going to go for a BKB next, picking up the Mithril Hammer. Off chance it could be a Maelstrom. I don't think so, though, as Queen of Pain blinks up towards top lane. Wants to kill the Slaughter. Resolution, Sprint is active. She doesn't have a Sonic Wave, though. Resolution will be able to TP out of this, and I think he's fine. The Orchid, or the Yules, excuse me, is not done for the Queen of Pain. But that Yules is going to help against the Orchid of the Invoker. There we go. Empire now have a little bit more momentum under their wings. Still, this advantage is not super significant towards either side. We can see the swing in momentum with these graphs, but 3,000 in experience advantage at this point is not going to be the make or break difference inside the fights. What is going to be the make or break difference is the Slaughter initiations, and he's going to get a 4-staff too. No, RMN walks around the corner. It's daytime. I think they caught a glimpse of him. The Gyrocopter will back off though, and Empire can't go into the Gyrocopter. You expect his entire team to be behind him unless you see them on the map. With these deep wards, maybe under other circumstances they would have been able to go on that Gyrocopter. But he had a team. And Empire are going to play things slow and steady. If nothing else, Empire have been playing very cautious and reliable Dota this whole day. And it's controlled aggression, which is really good to see. They're going to get a jump on Shadow. He's orchid it up. He's going to drop in a matter of seconds. They hookshot in on a General, but Clockwork's really deep here. Doesn't have his Blade Mail. General's going to be healed up a little bit by the Dazzle. They have the Shallow Grave too. General will probably go down, but at least they bring down the Tombstone. General? Oh, Blink Screen. Queen of Pain is going to be able to bring him to his knees. They'll lose Art Style and Trade, though, even with another Decay connecting. Yule's Scepter going to be thrown in the Slaughter, recognizing that's the way that she's probably going to die here. Blink down to low ground, glimpse back into her death. Crush with a couple more crits. That's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange. Empire, not thrilled that they lose General. But they do find the better jump, and they do get the better trade. Now they're not done yet. Clockwork is going to crush down into the ground. Resolution now has to worry about a gyrocopter that's TPing in. Resolution is so very deep. Oh no, that's not a gyrocopter, that's a Rubik. He comes back towards the well. Resolution is dropping low. The gyrocopter, where has he been this whole time? RMN's just been farming. Oh, how awesome would it have been to have a gyrocopter in that last fight, but with the glimpse, you can't TP in if Empire have the vision of you, and Rubik's going to be the first-hand recipient of that glimpse. 17 to 23. This is scary. Empire is starting to pick up momentum. That's really the most terrifying part about the Slaughter pick, and Empire is showing why he's still a very potent selection, even though it didn't work out for Scary Faces game 1 and 2, 5-1 and 6. Resolution has found so many good initiations, and maybe another one on a Meow. They're going to Blink Crush, amp her up. If they get the crit, she's down, and they do. Even without the crit, they might have had enough damage. I might have underestimated how awesome amplified damage is. That's the BKB done for the Phantom Assassin. Fitting the mold of this game, and maybe they just kill off the Undying here. He has some TV support. The Clockwork's the first one in, but by the time he gets there, another crit and another kill. Silent 7-2 and 7 is going to get hookshot in by the Clockwork, but a 4-staff out by the supports, and Silent should survive. They don't have enough chase to be able to bring down that PA. Those crits aren't even as scary as they will be. Phantom Assassin doesn't have a natural damage item. That's just Silent getting a little bit lucky and having the slider behind him. Call down will be thrown onto the ground as Resolution looks for another initiation. He has a Blink Crush at the ready. We'll find our man, but lifted up. Resolution might be in a little bit of trouble here. Bounce back by the Cogs. They don't have a Rocket Barrage going. Now they jump towards onto the Clockwork. The BKB popped by Silent. He doesn't care at all for your Battery Assault or the Blade Mail, which I don't think was even active or done yet. Actually, another Blink Crush. They get the Dagger crit. RMN in a lot of trouble. Pops his Rocket Barrage. A good amount of damage to Silent. The Radiance Courier is going to die, though. I believe that was sniped by the Slaughter. They'll kill off the Gyrocopter. Now glimpse back another one. Meow. They don't have the secondary glimpse, of course. No refresher on the Disruptor. How awesome would that have been to see a refresher glimpse at this point? But, no, they're going to maybe lose no fear here. He's dropping low. TP's in the tower from Scary Faces. The fight's not done yet. They'll lift up Silent. His Phantom Assassin's pretty tanky, though. She's going to Blink Strike towards her allies. They don't need to deal with this too until the Sonic Wave comes in. Queen of Pain will bring down the Dazzle. 4-step away by Resolution. It looks like they're going to have to lose their supports. But Disruptor's getting some backup from a Ghost Walk Invoker that's coming in fast. Crush now onto Shadowy. Bash. Slaughter, can he get this kill by himself? He won't be able to, but he doesn't need to get it by himself because the Invoker comes in with the EMP Tornado, Undying as well as Rubik almost completely drained. The Queen of Pain has a blink out, but Artsound not so lucky. 3 heroes will hit the deck. Hookshot in. This fight seems to never end. They'll invis away on General and Axmo. They just don't have enough damage, and here comes Resolution. He wanted in. He has wand charges, but needs to look for the 4-staff and TV out. He's going to be just fine. Disruptor, they go in with General on such low amounts of HP. Meow doesn't have a blink scream for a while. General hiding inside the trees. Queen of Pain, the scream connects. The right click's there. General will fall. They get something. It always seems to be General inside these fights. Here comes Gyrocopter. Disruptor is going to take a lot of damage from a Rocket Barrage. A double kill for Meow. What a bloodbath. The real winner is Silent, able to escape freely, starting that fight at 7-2 and 7, now 9-2 and 8. Has a Mask of Madness, working towards the presumed Basher next. Damage output from Silent's insane. As a general rule, I do like Helm of the Dominator better than Mask of Madness, and I think this game is no exception. I really like Helm on Phantom Assassin. Helm creeps are super strong. This is, however, the more explosive selection from Phantom Assassin. If he gets a couple of crits, the attack speed you get when you pop Mask of Madness is insane. And Phantom Assassin, outside of those Blink Strike hits, does tend to struggle a bit with her attack speed. At least until much later on in the game. Whooping up, smoking up, Scary Faces want to make sure that Empire just don't snowball this one to victory. With a couple of those return kills for the Queen of Pain, the advantage being gained by Empire has slowed down, but the advantage is still there at 10k net worth and experience. This could be another big fight that really doesn't end. Are they going to find an opening? Really, the hero that needs to find that jump is Axmo. Slaughter walks around the corner. Resolution gonna get hookshot in, and Clockwork finds the angle. They'll glimpse back to Clockwork, and Resolution will be just fine. Phantom Assassin Blink Strike down to the Roshan to be able to join this fight. They'll amp up the Roche Pit. The Tombstone's on the high ground. Phantom Assassin's got a Blink Strike out again, this time around to the Disruptor. And speaking of the Disruptor, this is an Octarine or Bloodstone rush on him. We'll talk about that a little bit later. That's awesome. Blink Strike in, looking for the Undying. He has a lot of armor from this weave, though, not taking too much from Phantom Assassin, but now cold snapped up. Looks like Artsound might go down. He really needs another decay here. 44 HP. He'll get out alive. The Tombstone's still remaining. Roshan doing battle against those constant zombies. Just get out of my pit. Leave me alone. And it looks like Empire will, at least for the time being, as they want to chase for kills. Resolution going to lead the charge. Crush on his shadowy. Rubik gets demolished. And now Empire can back off for Roche, or they can keep on going. Why not? They have amp onto this clockwork. Axmo is going to get dove under his tier 2 tower with this armlet slaughter. Empire will show a little bit of mercy. Too deep for them. And Phantom Assassin is going to lead the charge into the Roshan pit. This is something they can do very reliably. The Undying's not in a lot of HP. They already used the call down, although it's back up in a couple of seconds. That couple of seconds is all that Empire really need to be able to take down this Roche if they had amp on it. The Slaughter is... where are you? Farming up in the enemy woods? Yeah, Resolution's a little bit late to the party. This is something that Scary Faces might be able to stop. Let's see how this fight goes down. Roshan, without the amp, it is going to take a little bit longer. They'll pop the Lincoln's effect, drop the amp. It's going down fast. Undying, gonna drop his ultimate. The Slaughter will get a crush onto him. The bash and the damage from his armored Slaughter is insane. He'll force step down to low ground. His Invoker is gonna be the one to pick up the Aegis. Why not? Phantom Assassin has BKB. Is she really gonna die in this fight? She's gonna be doing battle against the Clockwork and the Gyrocopter. Aegis pop on the Invoker with the Sonic Wave over the top. Phantom Assassin does need to be a little bit careful. They'll pull back the Disruptor with that telekinesis, but the crit! Oh no, Shadowy is dropping low, and one more auto attack after that. Barrage is going up. They get the crush on the Meow. The Queen of Pain melts, and Empire get a good fight, and the Roshan on top of it. Now the Basher is done by the Phantom Assassin, and things are really kicking into high gear. This Gyrocopter isn't able to farm nearly enough, and Gyrocopter has to go for a Ghost Scepter. I don't think this is a bad choice. You kind of need it, or else you're just going to go poof. He relies on his Rock Barrage and Call Down to do the damage inside these fights, but it really feels like it's getting close to being an unsurmountable lead in the favor of Empire with the way that they're playing. 15,000 net worth, 15,000 experience going in their favor, and it doesn't get any worse. Now they're taking down these tier 2s. Scary Faces just don't have map control. Clockwork's initiations have by no means been bad. It's just not enough to stop Empire from farming. Even though this Invoker has died quite a lot this game, it is getting jumped very mercilessly by Scary Faces. He's one of the only heroes that's died consistently. They haven't really touched this Phantom Assassin, and because of the lack of silver edges, because of the lack of an early MKB on this Gyrocopter, because he is so underfarmed and can't afford to go for that MKB without just dying himself. Her evasion is keeping her very safe inside these fights. Whenever she pops the BKB, it's so hard to kill it, even when the Mask of Madness is on. And Silent's damage output is... it's absurd. It really is. And also, yeah, that Disruptor item pickup. I was going to talk about that earlier. Maybe we'll have to hold that thought. Disruptor's getting caught up by the enemy team. The battery celt's there, and he's stuck inside the corner. But with the Soul Booster, is pretty tanky. Missile will connect, and eventually Low Hot Dance will go down. How many times you get to see an Octarine Disruptor? And as a first item, too. I saw the Point Booster earlier in this game. I thought, it's just going to be an Aghanim Scepter. He would have had it now, of course, but... he's at the point where, relative to the enemy team, his farm is so much further ahead. He's more than 3 times his farm as Rubik, who just has that Bracer. We talked about the Bracer comparison to the Dazzle. Rubik hasn't gotten any more items since that early stage in the game. And more consistent glimpses, more consistent static storms. You can't really say no to that for the Disruptor. I think Aghanim Scepter is probably still a little bit better, but you know what? If you can farm an Octarine, get an Octarine. They'll take a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. The last remaining tier 2 for Scary Faces has hit the deck. They really need to start getting something going their way. And with a hookshot and a no fear, this might be the way to do it. But, oh! Gyrocopter is going to get demolished. That damage is just not something he can stand up against. He's taking down just a couple of seconds. Bashes onto Shadowy. Phantom Assassin will cleave down another. She adds them to her hit list. Sonic Wave by Meow, trying to kill off General. Poor Invoker. Switch to those Quas Orbs, trying to outreach, and not going to happen. With a bash onto Axmo, it looks like they're going to lose this Clockwork. With the Battery Assault and the Blade Mail, he might return a little bit of damage to Silent. They'll stop hitting him until the Blade Mail has expired, just making sure Phantom Assassin doesn't crit herself to death. And it's a triple kill, beyond godlike spree for Silent. Slaughter makes it out alive. The only casualties, the Dazzle and the Invoker. Scary Faces are getting a decent amount on this Queen of Pain. She has the Aghanim Scepter. By no means is this a bad amount of item progression for the Queen of Pain after the Yule Scepter. They just don't have the damage follow-up to be able to mop up any of these kills, nor the sustained chasing power that we're seeing from Empire. Clockwork's hookshot at this point in the game is such a long cooldown, and he finds a good initial hookshot, but just can't do anything afterwards. Whereas the Slaughter, he blinks in, crushes one, they kill that hero, blink in, crush another, and just keep on going from target to target. Yule Scepter onto the Phantom Assassin, maybe they can kill her off, but not with the kinetic field and static storm dropped onto this Queen of Pain. They'll get the Disruptor. That Octarine feels a long ways away. He's been saving up for that for a long time. But at least Silent will probably survive. He has the BKB, and is just going to run back towards the rest of his team. The BKB duration isn't going to last long. The rocket is going to connect. Blinking Queen of Pain commits, but they have the tornado into the crush. Deafening blast. Meow is going to be dropped low. Right click damage isn't there as Silent blink strikes over towards the left-hand side of this fight. Now turns for a dagger. Ice walls galore, but the one on RMN is the more the more persistent one. He's walking through this entire time. The Sunstrike is going to do that much, but Resolution also not in that much of peril. Here comes a hook shot. Good one coming out from Axmo, going to isolate, no fear. The dagger's going to crit, but not going to bash. The Queen of Pain chases for more, but now the Invoker just right-clicks her to death. The Undying's around the corner, trying to kill off Resolution. He's toggling through these stifling dagger damage instances, which are quite spread out apart. The tornado, a really nice one from the Invoker. It looks a little bit awkward that he goes for that tornado, but it stops the Clockwork from saving his ally. He said the Clockwork might still be able to get out of here, but Resolution wants a piece of this action. Popping the Blade Mail, Resolution needs to give him a little bit of space here, but with armlet toggling, still can be done. They're going to grave the Slidar. Go, Resolution, go! He has a blink, doesn't have the Force Staff though, and with this haste rune, the Clockwork has bought himself a little bit more space. They'll reapply the amplified damage, and they have the glimpse. The amp damage glimpse combo is probably enough to get this kill, but with that Blade Mail, Resolution, be careful. And he will. 42 to 24. A beautifully symmetrical kill score that's vastly in the favor of Empire. Although visually, it's balanced. Not so much with how it's translating inside this game. Venom Assassin has... Is that a Sanjin Yasha? Almost done. It's all the magic wand should get it. Empire just really taking so many of these good fights. 9-1 and 14, 14-2 and 11. Silent and Resolution really are the ones that are pulling a lot of the weight here. And even general, the Invoker execution has been pretty on point, even though he's been jumped so much by the enemy's side. They're going to glimpse the Queen of Pain a little bit further back, or at least I think that was a glimpse. Yeah, it was. I just want to see this Octarine on Disruptor. I wonder how many times Octarine's been built in Pro Dota. Not many. And if it is an Octarine for the Disruptor, probably not until it's like 70-80 minutes in the game. I'd be pretty safe in saying that this is probably the first time that Disruptor's gone for a rush Octarine, from the support position at least. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's happened before. It's just an interesting choice. Tombstone and the ultimate from the Undying is going to be dropped down on the ground, but with the tornado, they're going to be able to turn that around, at least repel them. Venom Assassin's on the backlines, assassinating Shadowy, gets a bash in passing on Axmo. Blink Crush, the Static Storm kinetic field's there. They won't be able to hold RMN inside this Static Storm. Venom Assassin dropping low, Shallow Grave, everybody in Empire is dropping to a point where they can't be comfortable. Can they clean up these kills? Slowing down RMN, they're gonna get a Yule Scepter on this Venom Assassin, drop down. Venom Assassin's going to fight against Queen of Pain and win! Oh, those bashes, those crits! And now she looks for more. With the Blade Mail, she can't go for that Clockwork by herself. They have to wait. The Urn Tick onto Silent, GG is called. And the Urn Tick, I don't think that's going to be lethal. What a series coming out from Empire. 3-0 over Scary Faces, securing themselves their spot in the Vilnius Studio LAN Finals from the GameShow Global Esports Cup. The first LAN of the year. That's been teased in that video we've been playing at the beginning of all of these matches. All of these victories have been very commanding from Empire. The level of execution is super high coming out from them, and I'm really excited to see how this new and improved roster, maybe not improved, only time will tell if this is actually better, but for now they're looking solid. But I don't think anybody expected anything otherwise. Empire were vastly favored going into this match. General, he's been looking good in this series. The last game may be a little bit rocky here and there, but the Invoker, his play against Scary Faces has been on point, taking revenge over a couple of his former allies. Thanks for tuning in to the GameShow Global Esports Cup CIS Playoffs. That'll be the conclusion of the CIS games for the day, but GameShow still has more than enough action coming your way soon from the American regions and the European regions. If you move on to azubu.tv/GameShow_D2N_2, I think Denali's still covering a couple of those European games, and we'll be moving on into Americas shortly. Be there. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. See you later, guys.